Okay, looking at dividing fractions. So the big thing about dividing fractions is kind of realizing that you can change division and multiplication are the same. You just kind of change what you're multiplying or dividing by. So this first one, how can you rewrite 7 divided by 2 to make it a multiplication problem but keep the same answer? So remember, dividing is multiplying by that fraction. So in this case, if you're dividing by 2, you're taking half of 7. So you could rewrite this, or so you take the reciprocal of 2. So when you divide by 2, you are actually multiplying by the reciprocal of 2. And so the reciprocal of 2 is, once again, the number you multiply a given number by to get 1, or it's the multiplicative inverse. So 2 times 1/2 will give you 1. 2, just remember multiplying fractions, 2 would be 2 over 1 times 1/2. So if you have 2 times 1/2, you can rewrite this as 2 over 1. 2 times 2 equals 2. 1 times 2 equals 2. Numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator, and this equals 1. Okay, so then the same thing right here, 2 times 1/2 equals 1. So we can rewrite 7 divided by 2 is equal to 7 divided by 1/2. So in order to switch our division, we take the reciprocal of our fraction, or of our number, in this case 2, the reciprocal of 2, which is 1/2, and we change division into multiplication. Okay, so when dividing fractions, we are looking at doing the same thing. So we want to get rid of the division symbol and change it to multiplication. And so another way to remember this is keep, change, flip. So what you do is you keep the first fraction. So in this case, 2/7 divided by 1/3. We're going to keep the first fraction, so 2/7. Now we're going to change our division to multiplication. Here I'm going to use a circle to notify multiplication. Okay, and then you flip the last fraction. So flipping the last fraction is actually taking the reciprocal. So the reciprocal of 1/3 would be 3 over 1. Okay, so keep, change, flip. Once again, you keep the first, change your symbol, and then flip the fraction. So now we've rewritten the same equation, but now we're using multiplication. And from the previous lessons, we know how to multiply fractions. You just multiply numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. And that is how we get our new fraction. So 2 times 3 is 6. 7 times 1 is 7. Right, and so there you have your answer of 2/7 divided by 1/3. That would be 6/7. And one thing to think about here is, if you're dividing by a number smaller than 1, you should get a number that is larger than your original fraction. Okay, which 6/7 is larger than 2/7. Okay. So once again, same thing. Keep the first fraction, change our division to multiplication, and take the reciprocal of our last fraction. And note, there is a negative number. It's an odd number, so our answer is going to be negative. Okay, so -4/9. We kept our first fraction. We changed our division to multiplication. And now we're going to take the reciprocal of 5/6, or flip And now we can multiply. A negative 4 times 6 and our 9 times 5. Okay, note I put right here cross simplify, so we can cross simplify. You've got 9 and 6. So here we can divide both those by 3. 3 is the greatest common factor of 9 and 6. Okay, and likewise, never mind, we can't do anything with 4 and 5. There's no common denominator or common factor. So I'm just going to rewrite these. 6 divided by 3 is going to give us 2, and 9 divided by 3 is going to give us 3. Okay, so now when you multiply negative 4 times 2, that's going to equal a negative 8. And then 3 times 5 is going to give us 15. Okay, now you can simplify, but there's no common factor of 8 and 15. So we're just left with our answer being negative 8/15. So we cross simplified, but that's as far as we can go. And it's not an improper fraction, so we don't need to convert it to a mixed number. All right, one last one. Okay, 2/3 divided by 1/5. So keep the first fraction, change division to a multiplication, and then we're going to take the reciprocal or flip the last fraction. So now you have 2 times 5 over 3 times 1. 2 times 5 is 10. 3 times 1 is 3. Okay, we have an improper fraction. So now we have to set it up. Our numerator is our divisor. Our numerator is our dividend. 3 can go into 10. 3 times 3 is 9. 10 minus 9 is going to give us a remainder of 1. So once again, our quotient is our whole number. Our remainder is our numerator, and our denominator is our divisor. So then 10/3 is equal to 3 1/3. And there we have our answer. And that's dividing fractions. Just remember to change, flip. Keep first fraction, change division to multiplication, and flip the fraction that you are dividing by.